Hello, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today we're going to be having a conversation around the topic I'm very happy to share about. But before we get into the video, I want to say thank you for everyone that has been following my content for the past, I think, 8 videos or so. If you know that you've watched every single video up until now, you are the real OG and you deserve an award. Thank you so much. So today we're going to be talking about becoming a high value woman, and I'll just be sharing attributes of a high value woman. I don't want to give a particular number because I don't know how far I would go. I think I have around 12, but I may not get to all of them. So the first point I'll be talking about is this: a high value woman is a woman that is powered by a source and understands that she can only give value at a certain level when she's connected to that source. The person that comes to mind easily when I speak about this is Esther in the Bible. We all know that Esther became the most powerful woman in the kingdom because she was the wife to the king. But when her people were faced with the challenge of being killed because of the decree that was made as a result of Haman's hatred for Mordecai, she understood in that moment that she could not rely or depend on her power or her throne or her position. And she told the people, "Fast for me 3 days. I and my maidens will do the same." She understood that the value that she was going to bring to the fulfillment of her purpose in that season was tied to the person that she knew, her source. This is so important because as a woman of value, you have to understand that the source powers your life. And your ability to stay connected to that source is what helps you truly give value as you should. The second attribute that we'll be talking about is a high value woman is a woman that seeks to evolve. And this just means that at every level of her life, she seeks learning, she seeks to grow, and she seeks to make herself better. One of the most profound examples that I have from the Bible is still Esther. When we're speaking about learning, Esther had stepped into the palace. She had stepped into a new life of royalty. She was not yet queen, but when she was preparing to be queen, the Bible spoke about Haggai. Haggai was assigned as an aide to the women that were being prepared to meet the king. The Bible said that Esther found favor in Haggai's sight. But even beyond finding favor in Haggai's sight, there was something profound that the Bible mentioned. It mentioned that Esther did not, of her own accord, I'm paraphrasing, choose the things that she thought were necessary to meet the king. She relied on the advice or the things that Haggai told her to do. So it was not a matter of, I am now in the palace, I have the right to say what I want or pick what I want because I now have a certain level of influence. She understood that in that season, Haggai was a teacher, and she was going to make any progress. She had to rely on the wisdom that he already had about how the palace worked. So for every season or in every season, a high value woman understands that she has to keep learning. And that learning may come in different forms or from various or different sources. But she just has to stay learning. The third attribute I want to talk about is a high value woman is a woman of integrity. She's a woman who means what she says and says what she means. Her yes is yes and her no is no. A woman of integrity is a woman that understands that in every situation you find her, she's constant in who she is. So she's not something to somebody else and a completely different person to somebody else. She's not shady. She's not double-faced. In every situation, she's honest and she deals with people with honesty. People can trust her with their resources. People can trust her with their time because they know that she would be faithful with it. The fourth point I want to talk about is a high-value woman is a woman of diligence. In a world where it looks like many people or a lot of people are not very interested in committing themselves to working, it's important that you understand that in order to position as a woman of value, you have to be a woman that loves to be diligent or a woman that loves diligence. It is true that No woman wants to suffer, and everybody wants to go into ready-made situations where the man already has it all figured out, and I just stepped into that family or that marriage to have like the baby girl life, which is what we normally say and all that. And the truth is that you really do not have to suffer. That is the truth. But there is also dignity in labor. There is value in putting in work, and there is value in diligence. So whatever it is that your hand finds to do, be diligent with it. No matter the level that you find yourself, understand that diligence is important. And this is not just speaking to women who have paid employment or women who are showing up in their careers or in their professions and all that. This also speaks to women who are in the season where they are probably nursing their children, they're probably in the house taking care of their husbands. At every phase, diligence is important. And in everything that you're doing, diligence is important. So that brings me to the fifth point. A woman who has high value is a woman who knows who she is, a woman who is confident in her worth, a woman who understands herself. So it is not just a question of how I look on the outside or how put together I am, because whenever we talk about a high value woman, what comes to our mind is this woman on 6-inch heels in a power suit and probably has this luscious long hair and all that. And that picture is okay. But at the end of the day, it's not just about the appearance. It's about how you feel about yourself inside. So a woman of high value is a woman who is powered by an understanding of who she truly is within. Beyond what everybody else can see, there is an inner strength that she has that is drawn from the person at her core because she has done the work to meet that person and groom her knowledge of that person. The seventh point I want to talk about is a woman of value or a high value woman understands that she does not always have to be heard. I know that there is this thing where we think that wherever we find ourselves, in order to show that we have value, we have to always speak. Whenever there's a question, we always have to be the one to respond. Whenever there is something to be said, we want to be the one to say it. And it's good to position your value or to position yourself as valuable. But there also has to be wisdom applied. When you understand that you do not always have to talk, sometimes you have to listen. Sometimes you have to hold your peace even when you know what to say. So wisdom has to guide your positioning as valuable or your positioning to give value. It is not every time that your voice must be heard, because a lot of people have abused that saying of, oh, I am a value giver or I am a person of value, to mean that every time there is something, I want to be the one to do it. You also have to understand that wisdom is profitable. And in your engagements, you have to be wise about the things you say. Before you open your mouth to say anything, think about it thoroughly. Will this be of value to the people that I'm speaking to? From what place am I speaking? Am I just speaking because I want to be heard? Or am I speaking because I want to actually give value? There are meetings that you can get into, and probably you are listening for the first 45 minutes. In the last 15 minutes, maybe you are asked, what do you have to say about this? And you find out that in that 15 minutes, you're able to give value that provides direction for where that meeting should end or where that meeting should lead to. So sometimes it's not just about speaking often. It's about speaking with wisdom, speaking carefully, examining your words, and understanding that the mindset to speaking should always be to add value only. The eighth thing I want to talk about is this. A woman of value is a woman who seeks to master her money. And there is a reason why I said seeks to, because I understand that a lot of us are at different levels in our lives. But the truth is that whatever level you are in currently, there is something to understand about the money that you make or the money that you seek to make. So it's not even just about making money. It's about making money, learning to manage money, and also understanding how to multiply money. And also, do not feel any pressure when I talk about multiplying money, because a lot of people begin to think about these far-fetched investments and all that kind of stuff. But there is something, or there are things at the level that you are in now that you can begin to do to understand your money and to see where it goes. Because if you're not also even able to track where your money goes, you'll not be able to manage it as you should. So one of the things that you can easily do, if you're still earning at a level that is not so high, is to maybe put the money in a high interest savings account and just see it grow. Manage the money in the sense of having budgets, knowing where your money is heading to. Before you spend money, understand and ask yourself, what am I spending this money for this thing? Am I just spending on something that I do not need, or do I actually need this in this season? So pay attention to your money patterns. A high value woman pays attention to her money patterns. The next point I want to speak about is, I think that's the 9th point. A high value woman is mindful of her associations. A high value woman knows that she cannot be found in just any place or with just any person. There is a particular show that I watch, and the show has the anchor going around to different cities in this country, interviewing billionaires and millionaires about the things that have led to their success and what they can advise other business owners or entrepreneurs or people looking to be millionaires or billionaires. And one of the things I constantly hear is that they would usually say they are very selective about their friends. They are very mindful of the people they have conversations with or the people they allow into their space, because these things actually impede or support their successes. And this is something that every one of us have to imbibe. You have to be mindful about the people you speak to. There is a saying that if you are in the midst of 5 fools, you will be the 6th fool. If you're in the midst of 5 successful people, you will be the 6th successful person. So whenever you meet your friends or whenever you hang out with your friends, do you actually have productive conversations that can lead you somewhere? The 10th point I want to speak about is this. A high value woman is a woman that understands that purpose guides her life. And so every day of her life is geared towards living out that purpose. She doesn't just wake up in the morning and do whatever comes to mind. She's careful to plan her day. She's careful to plan her week. She's careful to plan her month, and she's careful to plan her year. I know 2025 just started. Literally, we're just like a month in. And many of us have come into the year. This is a call or a reminder to set goals, meaningful goals, purposeful goals if you have not already, because that is the only way you can truly position yourself as truly valuable or become truly valuable. Just as a bonus point, and because this is also very important, a high value woman takes care of herself. So it's very important that you also invest in self-care. And when I speak about self-care, again, I'm not speaking about high-end things or things that would just take all your money. I know a few people that would usually want to spend money on self-care when they do not even have it. I believe that at every level, there is a way to care for yourself without breaking the bank. One of the things I also want to say is when we speak about self-care, we also just jump into conversations like skincare, having a routine, getting facials done, going to spa sessions every month. And those things are beautiful in themselves. They are necessary, they're important. But at the end of the day, there are things that you also have to begin to focus on. Because I've also seen ladies who do self-care, but then when you see them, their legs are always white. So how can you properly take care of yourself and show up better at the level that you are in? As a high value woman, people are not going to see your value by looking directly into your soul or into your mind. They are going to see it first in the way that you dress, in the way that you appear. So for every room that you're going to step into, ask yourself, am I dressed in a manner that would be able to communicate my value without me opening my mouth to even say anything? Or am I just showing up hoping and expecting that someone will know that I have value without looking the part? So it's still important to look the part. I hope that this video was useful, and I hope that these are things that you'd begin to critically look into and understand that positioning as a high value woman is not just about the externals, it's about the internals. There are different things you have to do. You have to build your character, you have to build your emotional intelligence, you have to build your sense of self-worth. They are very important on your journey to becoming that woman that is valuable, or showing up as that woman that is valuable. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd like to hear your highlights in the comments. Looking forward to reading from you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.